Joining us now is Ojy Okpe with stories trending around the world. Hello, Ojy.
Good morning. Excellent. How are you?
Got it right.
The week is almost over, so you're doing good. You're doing well. Good morning, Tundun. How are you?
Great, thank you.
Perfect. Good morning, Rufai.
Ojy, Rotu said I shouldn't sing the...
Good idea. I can even hear him laughing. Don't
He said I shouldn't sing the song. So I
Very good idea. I commend Rotus.
Okay, so you don't like it?
I don't mind it. I like dancing. Good morning, Rufai. How are you?
Fine, thank you. I'm good.
Well, good morning to you, viewers. We begin what's trending in Kogi State, Nigeria, where gunmen attacked the Federal Medical Center in Lokoja on Wednesday and disrupted a COVID-19 press conference. The medical center had scheduled a media briefing for the day to demand for a COVID-19 screening center in the state and to also speak about the challenges health workers are facing with regards to the disease. The armed men were said to have arrived at the facility in 3 vehicles and shot sporadically to disperse the meeting. Allegations that the gunmen were sponsored by the Kogi state government have circulated on social media. Let's take some tweets. One user wrote, "Terrible. Governor Yahaya Bello's thugs did it, not gunmen. You can imagine the lab office is located near the Kogi state government house. No security was there." Another user wrote, "Governor El Rufai was kneeling down publicly with PYO and First Lady then for people to forgive this governor and re-elect him. I'm happy they're all still alive to witness these things. But unfortunately, they will be silent on all. Next stop is Ondo State to go and beg again." In response, the user wrote, "I am from Kogi State, and as far as I am concerned, he was never voted into office. He remains the Supreme Court governor. Hence, he has always acted like he owes no one anything. He is an arbitration on that state." Finally, a user wrote, "I understand the hospital associations have told all staff to evacuate the hospital. This means the hospital has effectively shut down, which is very terrible news to ordinary Kogi people without the economic power to seek medical care in private hospitals." This is really sad news. I mean, the Commissioner for Information has come out to say that, the people that attacked the medical center were, patients, relatives to the patients of the clinic, and they were outraged that there has not been any medical care being administered to their relatives in the state, and that one of the patients actually gave birth in front of the medical center without any care. So, I mean, I don't really understand why anyone will go and attack a press briefing in any case whatsoever.
So I was about to say
Yes.
that there's this other alternative story being peddled at the moment, but the general perception is because of the antagonistic stance the governor of Kogi State has taken towards the NCDC, and he's called the COVID-19 pandemic a hoax. So the general perception is that this is his handiwork, and that is a really bad perception. I think he needs to come out and address that and deny that vigorously, because it's really bad. The fact that he doesn't wear masks, his attitude towards it has led to this kind of grave accusation that he would be responsible for such a thing.
Well, 2 developments that we should note. The first is the fact that the Commissioner of Police in the state has said that the police will investigate and ensure that the persons behind that attack on the Federal Medical Center in Lokoja are brought to book. We hope that he means that, and that will in fact happen. The second development is that all the 7 health workers associations in Kogi State working in that Federal Medical Center have gone on what they call an indefinite strike. They issued a statement and they've said that what has happened is an assault on the integrity of the hospital and their own independence and, on their own safety individually, because there was going to be a situation whereby the civil defense officials who were protecting the hospital wanted to engage the assailants, but the senior officials in the hospital said that should not happen because that probably would have resulted in the loss of lives and property. Third is the point that you mentioned when you were reading the tweets, the fact that this Federal Medical Center is, the major center that many persons in Lokoja patronize because it's government-owned and it's cheaper. Now that the place is shut down, now that the place has become a theater of violence, you are going to deny a lot of people who cannot afford to pay the huge bills in private hospitals, access to affordable health care. 4, whatever may have happened is totally condemnable.
Yes.
What we're told is that the health workers in the Federal Medical Center were going to hold a press conference to appeal to the federal government to come to their rescue to assist with COVID-19 management procedures in the state. And in a sense, that in itself is a protest against the governor,
yes,
who continues to insist that there is no COVID-19 case in Kogi State, even when the case of the chief imam, the chief imam of Kaba and his son had been reported, even when the chief judge of Kogi State died in an isolation center in Abuja, and the governor himself personally attended the burial where COVID-19 protocols were observed, and he was at the cemetery, only for him to go back to Lokoja to reverse what he saw with his own eyes in Abuja, to now say, oh, the chief judge died of natural causes. So it's very unfortunate what is going on in Kogi State. Governor Yahaya Bello is the youngest governor in Nigeria. He's just 45 years old. So all the people who have been campaigning, not too young to run, you know, what we are seeing is that, look, some of these young persons, when you give them opportunities, they surprise you with their lack of capacity and their lack of decency.
I want to say that he might just be an exception. Let's not generalize that, Dr. Abati.
Well, I've just said, well, this is a wake-up call, that the leadership recruitment process should not just be about biological age. It should also be about capacity and temperament.
The healthcare system right now should be a state of emergency for Kogi State, because, as you said, it's closed down now. If the hospital or the center is closed down now, it's a real big problem for the people of Kogi. I'd love your comment, Rufai.
I mean, I keep asking, what do we have to hide in Kogi and probably Cross River State? What do we have to hide? The fact that we need aid as regards COVID-19, which is everywhere around the world. Now we have 6 governors. Yahaya Bello tested positive yesterday. He came out, his entire family, the governor of Delta State. So what do we have to hide? What is Yahaya Bello hiding? Nobody wins a trophy from not having COVID. And let's stop the politicization of all of this and harming people's life. This is very painful. This is sickening. If you have cases of COVID in Kogi, bring them out to the fore. Let them get treated. Because, you see, the things are stacked against us already. Look at America and remdesivir. They've taken out all the supply. They bought all the supplies till August.
Proactive, yes.
So these are countries that are... So I don't know. I don't want to say only in Nigeria this happens, but I don't understand this myself. You're attacking medical officials that are there to protect your life if anything happens to you. Or does he forget that if anything happens to him, he can't fly abroad, though? No airspace, so they'll have to sort it out there in Kogi State. Well,
just by way of, a footnote, I think that there's been some interesting development in Cross River State. Better Edu, the Commissioner for Health, I think issued a statement that the state is now inviting officials of the NCDC and the Federal Ministry of Health to come and support the state to set up laboratories and isolation centers. That, if it represents a change of attitude, I think is welcome and is something to be encouraged.
There's nothing to be shy about if you have COVID, if your state has COVID, even if you have COVID yourself. Let's stop this stupid stigmatization. It's stupidity. Let's stigmatize corrupt officials more than people that have COVID.
Oh, that's a very, very valid point, Rufai.
We need to take a short break
let's
now.
Do that.
When we return, what's trending with Ojy Okpe will continue. It's still The Morning Show. Welcome back to The Morning Show here on the Arise News Channel. Still with us is Ojy Okpe, which was trending.
You have to go there, right? Thank you. Well, let's head over to Ghana now, where a non-governmental organization, Child Rights International, has summoned the country's Inspector General of Police to investigate actress Rosamund Alade Brown, better known as Akuapem Poloo, over a nude photo she shared of herself on social media to celebrate her son's birthday. In the now viral photo, the movie star could be seen squatting completely unclad before her 7-year-old son, who was gazing steadily at her. The actress expressed her love for the birthday celebrant, recounting how she gave birth to him without undergoing pain or complication. After severe backlash, the actress apologized for the photo, describing it as an artistic impression, adding that sometimes she bathes with her son naked. The actress also went on to post pictures of other celebrities, Ciara and Jessica Moore, who have also posed nude with their sons. The photo has generated a nationwide outrage on the issue of child abuse. Child Rights International deemed her act as a violation of the welfare principle of the Children's Act, an abuse of the child's right to privacy and dignity. Now, this is a very sensitive topic. I mean, a lot of people are outraged because obviously it's a photo between, different sex. It's not a photo of like her and her daughter. It's a photo of her and her son. So a lot of people are upset because obviously, like Child Rights International says, it's, against the child's dignity and privacy. I mean, I personally will not want my 7-year-old son to see me naked. I mean, I frown on it. A lot of people may not. I don't know what your thoughts are.
I think this is completely inappropriate, and her citing examples of other celebrities, she's just naming people who are as wrong as she is. Like you said, it's a different gender. Yes. It's totally inappropriate. But there's some of these tree-hugging hippie types that really will walk around the house completely naked in front of their children, who might also be naked, even until their teens, because they're very much like, nudity is natural and we're one with nature. There's some people like that. And there's some who are sort of more conservative, like Ojy, you and I think fall on that side of the spectrum. And I think a lot of people will say you should go with the child's cues, that children at a certain point will even tell you, their mother, to leave the room when they want to change. Absolutely. And children will look at their mother and, undressed and look away. So at that point, the child is aware. The child does not look very comfortable in that picture. So I think she should have just been a little more sensitive to her child. And we are parents, right? Or well, some of us are parents, but we always have to remember that the state, in most countries, the state will intervene if a child is being neglected or abused in any way. We have in Nigeria the Child Rights Act, and they're about, I think it's from section 41 to 62, dedicated to how a child can be removed from their parents. There are orders that can be given from the family court. There are times when in an emergency, the states will come and get that child, even without a court order. So the state is very serious about things like this, that appears to be causing distress to the child or could harm the child mentally.
Yeah, so all that point you made, the first thing I asked was, is she a nudist? I mean, I didn't understand.
Some people are, yes. Some of those nature-loving types.
Yeah. Okay, well, one, the lady has offered an apology. And she said that she's an artist and that she was trying to create is an artistic impression.
Yeah.
And the message that she was trying to put across is that, look, children should learn that when their mothers gave birth to them, they did so in a naked form, and that children have a responsibility to clothe their parents later in the future. If that is the message that she was trying to put across, that message was not communicated. I don't think that anybody will be convinced that this was a case of art. This is not a case of art. I know that, we often teach nudity as art in some contexts, but this is nudity on the borders of pornography and child abuse. That's the first point. So the second point, of course, is that would this have made a difference if she did not publicize it? Because she put it on Instagram, she communicated it, she published it. As Tuno pointed out, if it was within the privacy of her home and she didn't escalate it to the public, perhaps there would be no problem because we would not know. Yes. And the moment she published it, then, of course, she should not blame anybody for becoming a moral police. A moral police of an international proportion just went after her to say that this is totally inappropriate. Now, Tuno referred to the state. Now, the interesting thing is that, in fact, they have in Ghana what they call a Ministry of Gender, Children, and Social Development. And that ministry, the minister, Honorable Morrison, MP, Honorable Cynthia Morrison, MP, has already issued a statement saying that, look, this is a violation of established laws in Ghana. The Children's Act of 1998 and Section 30 of the Criminal and Other Offences Act of Ghana. And on the basis of that, she says that the ministry has already directed the relevant agencies of government. So I don't know what will happen in that regard. What is suggested is that she's guilty in that statement issued by the minister of pornography, of child abuse, of degrading conduct, and she cited the law. So let's see what happens. Maybe the police would arrest her, and maybe she will be prosecuted.
She seems very sincere with her apology. And just to note, a lot of women do this in Nigeria and elsewhere. They are very okay with, you know, showing their bodies to young children. I don't know what your thoughts are, Rufai.
Well, I'm quite very sad, but anytime I see that picture, in my mind's eye, I see big boo-boo covering her up because I don't like to see what she was showing on display. I might be wrong on this, and correct me if I'm wrong. I think she wanted the attention, number one. I think this has been the pervasive trend. I think there are better ways you can depict the act that you want your child to cover you. I think it's the madness of social media and the malalignment of Instagram, you know, and I think it's a mental issue. We should nip this in the bud. This is getting way too much. She's not the only one. A lot of other people are doing it under the guise. And she cited Sierra. Are those examples? I'm sorry. Those are not examples. And for the fact that people do those things, does that make you do it? What is your own personal moral compass? What is your personal thought process like? You couldn't think through it before you did it? If there's a law to that effect in Ghana, the law should take its course. I'm sorry, I'm going to be very brutal on this. What is wrong is wrong. Well, that means you're giving us, all of us, the rights to show some sense of nudity online and say it's a rebirth or reincarnation.
I just feel like it's uncomfortable because it's the opposite sex. I think it would be just a little more comfortable if she was with her daughter. You know, because can you imagine if you saw your father as a 7-year-old girl naked? You know, that's the only issue I have with it.
Even if she's with her daughter, she should cover up, please.
Well,
let's forget that Instagram is a public media.
I've seen some reinterpretations of that photograph, people putting clothes on her and her son, and people extending it further to use it to describe relationships among others. I don't know whether you've seen the one about Wizkid and Davido, with Wizkid as the mother and Davido as the child. But in any case, I don't know whether we still have more time, Ojy, on this segment.
We'll take another story right now. More on the entertainment in the U.S. Musician Alsina has generated mixed reactions on social media for alleging that he had a love affair with Jada Pinkett Smith, and her husband, Will Smith, gave him his blessing. In a now viral interview, the singer spoke about his relationship with Jada Pinkett, the loss of his sister, his rare autoimmune disease, and in all, the musician said breaking up with Jada was the hardest thing he had been through. Let's take a look before we come back for a discussion.
I actually sat down with Will and had a conversation due to the transformation from their marriage to life partnership that they've spoken on several times, and it, you know, not involving romanticism. He gave me his blessing, and I totally gave myself to that relationship for years of my life, you know, and I truly and really, really deeply loved and have a ton of love for her. I devoted myself to it. I gave my full self to it. So much so to the point that I can die right now and be okay with knowing that I truly gave myself to somebody.
A lot of reactions on social media. The only thing I thought about was Pastor Adeboye when he said, if anybody touches my wife, I will kill that person.
So are you contrasting that with Will Smith allegedly giving his blessing?
I mean, this is a serious situation. Shocking. How is this possible?
It is possible. You know, as I was saying earlier with the Ghanaian actress, with the nudist, there's some of these bohemian types that have open marriages and have all these unorthodox sort of arrangements that they have. But my thing with him, this gentleman, Alsina, he's so indiscreet.
Yes,
it says a lot about his character. He just sat there blabbing. It's not done.
Well, you know that they've been saying that these couple, they've had an open relationship for years. But you know, Will Smith and Jada have come out to say it's a lie, you know. But it's impossible because, you know, these people, they've been going on for years. They've been going on vacations. You see them in Hawaii together. It's
with this person?
Yes, with this guy. Rufai, but apparently I think he's promoting some album, so he's come out to say all these things about this couple. And I really feel horrible for both of them.
I think he's a very indiscreet person, and it gives credence to their denials, because people that tend to be indiscreet, you have a bit of a dodgy character, sorry to say that. So he's giving credence to their denials. You're not looking like the best in moral integrity, are you? If you have an affair with a married woman, a single woman, whatever it is, you don't sit on TV and blab. It says something about you, sorry. But Will Smith and Jada Pinkett, this is embarrassing for them. There's no way around this. It's awful.
Yeah.
Well, my concern when I saw this was first, look, America, they are America, to echo Professor J.P. Clark, because I couldn't imagine that it would be possible for a couple to say they are in an open relationship, as claimed by Alsina. And I said, do things like that happen in this world? Maybe I'm conservative, maybe I'm a bushman.
You're used to it only being men stepping out on the
Thank you,
so, but I found it shocking, culturally, mentally, psychologically. But however, as you pointed out, Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith have both denied it.
Yes, they have.
Their PR agents have said, look, this is not true. This is just pure fiction. And they probably need to say that because this could affect their brand.
Yes.
Because, I mean, the statement, the disclosure, if we may put that in quotes, in my view, immediately devalued Will Smith. Will Smith that we see in the movies, you know, as the alpha male kind of person, only to be told that, look, he and his wife, they are in what they call life partnership without romantic relationship. So that was shocking for me.
Yes.
But we don't know who is telling the truth. But whatever happens, Alsina is just 27.
He's 27.
Jada Pinkett Smith is 48. You know, it looks to me like if it is true, a mother-son kind of a relationship.
But he seems so sincere with his interview, though. He looked like he was...
Maybe at the end of the day, we'll realize that he's just promoting his next album.
That's what I thought.
When he did in, is it 2018?
Last year, yeah, 2018, yes. He did the same thing.
Nunya. You know, there were echoes of Jada Pinkett in that particular album.
Yes.
So it may be a publicity stunt.
Let's take a quick comment from Rufai before we go. Rufai.
Anyway, it's America. This has always been America anyway. I think it was Alexis de Tocqueville that talked about the overt liberty in America in his book, Democracy in America, he wrote many years ago.
Yeah.
But for Alsina, August, I have a word again. You'll hear another new word. It's called Akpa. Big Akpa. In fact, somebody
What does it mean, Rufai? You can't just say a word. People need to know.
He means he's stupid. He should get his head examined.
Okay.
Honestly, I'm shocked. And the fact that even if you had something with her, it should be private between both of you, not come to talk about it on television. I mean, he's 27. He's a boy. Leave him. Lose
a boy in love.
Anyway, thank you very much, Ojy. We'll see you again tomorrow morning.
Yes.